Hey everybody, and welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to talk about eyeshadow palettes that I think are just so pretty to look at. Like, they're so aesthetically pleasing, they make me happy, slash palettes I would want to have, I would want to buy but haven't. Well, 3 of them, yes, but I just wanted to share my thoughts on a few palettes. None of these are like very new. They have been around, but they are just palettes that I kept thinking about because they're just so pretty to look at. I don't know. Makeup makes me very happy. Sometimes I just like to have something because looking at it makes me happy and not as much using it, or I look at it and it makes me so excited but I don't actually like use it that much. But I think we all know that, right? Let's start. I don't know how many palettes I have to talk about, but we'll just start and we'll get right into it. So I'll scooch a little bit to the side, so I'll put a picture up here from everything we'll be talking about. Okay, let's go. So the palette that actually inspired this is the Huda Beauty Mint palette. I think what kind of pulls me into this palette is that it's light. I like very light makeup, although I mean today I have the most dramatic eye look I have ever done in my entire life, and I think it's kind of cool. It looks kind of cool, but generally I love a very light makeup look and I gravitate towards very light colors, so I think that is what's kind of pulling me in, and I just love how those 2 shades look that kind of have like a marbled effect. I think it looks just so stunning. Please don't mind, I'm looking at my monitor right here. But I just think the palette looks so pretty. The tones, the combination, it's just so gorgeous. I don't know that if I had it, I would use it very much because I only have one mint colored shadow in my collection, and it is from e.l.f. It's like their quad in mint chocolate or chocolate mint or whatever. But this palette just looks so cool, and although it's a mint palette, I don't think it's too mint, which is why, for instance, the ColourPop something mint, I don't like it that much because it's too much mint. I mean, makes sense, it's a monochromatic palette, so absolutely did a great job on that one, but that is why I like this one, because it hasn't only the mint shades, it also has the orange, the turquoise. I think it's so cool and I love it. I think it looks so pretty. I don't know about the quality and all of that, but just looking at it, it makes me like, ooh, I just love how it looks. Moving right along is another palette from Huda Beauty, and it is the Mercury Retrograde palette. When I saw this palette, I lost it. I lost it because I thought, oh my god, this is kind of like the combination of the mint palette but with some pinky tones as well, and that blue shimmer shade. It has everything, right? Doesn't it have everything? I just love this palette. Looking at it makes me so happy. I love the actual palette itself, like the material being more of like a translucent, transparent type of purpley color. I don't know, it looks so cool, and I just love that it's like a neutral but it has color in it and different textures, so I think it's very exciting to use and makes a lot of fun, and I really like it. It is a bigger palette, and I have started to appreciate smaller palettes way more. Like back then, big palettes, I was all about that, but not anymore. But this palette, so pretty. And the last Huda Beauty palette I want to talk about is the Nude palette. This, oh my god, when I saw it, it reminded me almost of the BH Cosmetics Carly Bible palette in terms of, because it has mauve tones, it has light pink tones, and yet again, I like very light makeup, like color wise, and I thought that this was great because it's like the perfect combination of those dusty mauvey pinks, but it also has those very creamy shades. I just think it's so pretty. But if I had to choose now, I would definitely take the Mercury Retrograde instead of this one because my preferences have changed, and I do like mauvey to kind of cool tone makeup because I am a cool tone skin tone. But it's still very pretty. I love it. I am not pretty sure about all those glitters in there, if I would get a lot of use out of that, but it's just looking at it that makes me happy. So very good one. One that I'm so much there's so much contemplation with this next one. I really want to get it actually, because it's not very expensive, like not like the Huda Beauty palettes. This one is from BH Cosmetics and it is called Beautiful in Barcelona. Okay, let me explain to you. When someone, usually I'm not like, you can tell me, oh, it's inspired by beautiful sakura petals from Japan and blah, 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 blah. Like back in the day, I was pulled in because I was seeing the storyboard, I was seeing all of it. I was imagining me using that specific product in that specific place that they were trying to explain and all that. And now I have grown out of that. I know what I need, I know what I want, and I don't let a storyline kind of pull me in. But with this palette, I was just thinking of like a dark blue smoky eye, but with a warm orange in the crease. And I do have a warm orange in my Sweet Peach palette from Too Faced, but I don't have one single blue shadow. I don't. I only have like a silver that leans blue, but it's light, it's not dark. I don't have anything blue. And I am very sad that also this year I won't be going on vacation, and there's just something of me, like I miss going on vacation. And then I saw this palette and it has everything. And then the names like Mediterranean, Picasso, Azul, Flamenco, Familia, it's like, Fiesta, all of that. It's just like, I can almost like imagine myself in Barcelona, like hot summer nights, and I have that dark blue but warm smoky eye. That was my dog shaking herself. But yeah, I don't know, this palette totally just like grabbed me. It just grabbed me, and yeah, it is on my wish list. And it's probably from all of these, probably one I would actually get because it's not that expensive. It's just so nice. It's so nice, it's so nice. Next one I want to talk about is the Etude House Caffeine Holic palette. So pretty, I actually have it. So I'll put a picture up here so you can see what it looks like, but I'm also going to show you in person what it looks like, because it looks like this. This palette is absolutely like, if I think of fall time, going to a coffee shop and there are all those beautiful leaves falling on the ground and it's just like so cozy, you have knitwear on, this is the palette I think of. You can't argue with me that this isn't the best thing ever. I just love this color story so much because you have a lot going on actually. You do have the majority of them being mattes, but I just love the colors. Like you can make like a more bronzy colored look, you can make it more pinky, a very deep one. You just have it all in this palette and I really love it, and I always pull it out during the fall. This is how much I love it. Every time it's fall, I get excited and I use this. I just love it. Love it so much. It's so good. And it's also not very helpful when they actually name each shade after coffee. Like, I'm not good at reading Korean, so I'm not even going to try. Also, I don't have my glasses on, but this palette is like so cute. It's not very expensive, nice and petite, so good. Looking at it just makes me happy, so I wanted to mention it. Next one is from a brand that I just recently heard of, learned about, and it's from Glamlight, the ice cream palette. Y'all, what? I am usually such a fan of neutral. Give me neutral, neutral, neutral. I don't like color, if color, pastels, but when I saw this from Angelica, she's a Swedish YouTuber. I have been obsessed with her. She showed this palette as one of her top palettes from 2020. Wow, I was shocked to see how cool it looks. It just looks so cool, and it makes me happy looking at it. It's just so vibrant, like it's very vibrant. And again, I don't know if I would ever actually buy this because it's very big and I like more small palettes. This is pretty big and I don't know how many uses I would get out of this, but just looking, I just love looking at it. It's just so cool. So if you're into color, I've heard that this one is very good. and you may want to check it out. The next one is such an old one, but it has such a special place in my heart because this was my very first high-end palette, and it is the Too Faced Chocolate Bar palette. I have to be honest, if I would lose this, I don't use it every day, or let's say if I can only keep one palette for the rest of my life, it would be this. It would absolutely be this palette. I love neutral tones, okay? I love neutral tones. I think this has it all. I think this is just me. This is so me because it has color, but it's not too much. Like this beautiful kind of burgundy. This palette is just so gorgeous. It is big, but it's not too big. It's like not a Morphe palette, you know what I'm saying? I really like it. I have always enjoyed using it. Again, this is just the definition of me is this palette. So I just love looking at it. It's just so comforting, not only because of memories, but just because it looks so aesthetically pleasing with all of those brown neutral tones. I love this palette so much. I really do. And it's old, but I still love it so much. Are there better ones out there? Probably, but I would still buy this. I would still buy it. That's how much I love it. Then we have a very small palette from Romand. It is the Rose Dry Colored Quad. How is it called? What is it called? Oh yeah, right. It's the Romand Better Than Eyes eyeshadow palette, and I have it in Dry Rose. Put it up here, but this is what it looks like. I love this quad for like an everyday kind of color. That was my dog. I love it for like an everyday, more rosy pink colored makeup look. I just applied these two in the crease, applied this one on the lid. It's a glitter, more of a transparent glitter, but I love it. And then I smudge up my eyeliner with this very nice chocolatey brown shade. I really like it. Looking at it, I'm just like, ooh, it's so easy and so simple, but you can get a lot of use out of this, and I just really love it. Looking at this, I'm just like, oh, I want all of those nice pinky brownie looks. I just love it so much. So it's also very inexpensive, so I recommend this. Next up we have from Natasha Denona. I'm saying it like that because I am like 0.0% interested in Natasha Denona. Like her palettes, they don't talk to me, they don't scream to me, they don't, like, I'm not interested. One of them being because of the price, because I just think it's a lot of money, and I do like eyeshadow, and I do understand where people are coming from when they're saying, but it's worth the price because it's so good. But I just don't need that. I just don't need that overly good. I'm simple. I'm a simple girl. I don't struggle with my eyeshadow that I would have to pay like $65 for something, so I'm just not very interested. But this palette, like this combination, is just so pretty. I'm talking about the Retro Mini palette. I just love the combination of the green with the pink and the tan color. It looks so pretty. It just looks, you know what this reminds me of? This is kind of like, this could be a KKW release in terms of, this reminds me of Kim's aesthetic. It's very beigey, but if color, it's olivey. It's not like a money green by any means. It's just very olivey, and this kind of reminds me of, if Kim would use color, it would probably be this. I'm not very interested in the Kardashians or Jenners or anything like that. I'm just saying that kind of reminds me of that, and it reminds me just of those girls that, if color, then still very subtle and soft colors, and I just think it's super pretty. I don't think this is a palette.
You want to say hello? Want to say hello? Hello, I'm Daisy, and I'm a grandma. Yeah.
I think it's a nice complementary palette. This palette was actually kind of a surprise to me because I have never really been interested in Viseart, who knows how to pronounce that? Viseart. It is the Paris edit. You pull me in with the name, you pull me in with the concept and me thinking of. So I'm seeing myself in Paris, and I take this palette with me and I live my life. That's just how I work. I take the BH Cosmetics Beautiful in Barcelona, and I'm just walking Barcelona nice and tanned, and I take that palette, use it, and I'm living my life. That is how I work. That is how my brain works. Stupid, I know, but this palette is so pretty. I think that this kind of could substitute the Huda Beauty nude palette because it also has some mauves, but it's not overwhelmingly big, but it has a very light shade, but it also has a very deep shade, so I can smudge out my eyeliner or deepen the look in general. So I think this palette is so good. What do you think? I know it looks boring, but I'm a lover of just neutral colors. I just love these more neutral colors. And then last but not least is another colorful palette. I don't even know if this is still available, but it is the ABH Riviera Palette. Yet again, I see myself summer vacation, I'm wearing something navy, blue, white, kind of the packaging, and I just do like a neutral crease and I throw one of these shades on the lid, or I do it on the lower lash, and I live my life yet again. It's so stupid, but you can pull me in like that. It's so stupid. I don't know if I would actually ever buy this, to be completely honest, but it's just looking at it, it's like, ooh, I love it. The actual color that pulls me in the very most is like that very top right corner kind of blue. What is that? It's like a silvery blue. It's just so gorgeous. That is actually what pulls me in the most in this palette. I just love how it looks. And also that turquoise right next to that bronze color. Like the combination is just so pretty. I couldn't care less about the pinks, which makes up a lot of this palette because there are 3 pinks, 1 purple that I don't like. I wouldn't use the yellow, so you can definitely see I would actually not use this, but just looking at it, I think it looks very pretty. I don't know how the actual formula was, if people liked it, loved it, hated it, I don't remember. It's just looking at it, it's super cool, so I had it on my list as well as a very interesting palette. And it kind of reminds me of the Amrezy palette. Hold on, what did that one look like? Oh yeah, the Amrezy I didn't really like because it had one row more, and I don't know, the Amrezy just didn't really call my name. It has depth in it and it has lightness in it, but it's just not it's not really my type. I like the Riviera more. That concludes this little overview of pretty palettes I would want to have maybe, or just generally palettes that when I look at them they make me happy. And leave me down below, what are palettes that you look at and you think they're super pretty, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you would use them. Are you like that? Like, am I the only one like that? That can't be. I just love to look at makeup. It's just so colorful, it's fun. So sometimes it's not about actually buying and using, it's just about looking at it. I just love it so much. So leave me down below what some of your palette dreams are, things that, you know, just grab your attention. What pulls you in marketing? Is it like with me, you take like a specific scenario, like the beach in Barcelona, or like the beach somewhere in the south of Europe? Is that what pulls you in? Just what pulls you in? Because for me, it's definitely that. I just envision myself being in that place and using that palette. If you guys enjoyed, and if you did, let me know down below. Leave me your suggestions down below, and I'll make sure to see you in my next video. Bye!